Everyone's talking about Ben Shapiro's interview with Gina Carano. I saw it and enjoyed it enough, but it made me realize some bigger points and concerns, so we'll go back to the hot picks of Gina later. The origins of modern-day wokery can be traced to many college campuses, where trigger warnings, microaggressions, and safe spaces are unironically used on a daily basis. Students of these centers of indoctrination brought the misguided philosophies into the private sector with them. They became manifest as human resources departments or diversity and inclusion departments. The latter hilariously named department actually works against the presence of assorted views and the embracing of everyone regardless of their perspective. These departments work to create division by encouraging the reporting of quote-unquote unethical behavior by way of anonymous snitch lines. Someone didn't get the promotion? Maybe it was because of racism or sexism. A department has too much of one race or sex in management positions? It's inequity. The truth is, the people running these departments hate meritocracy. They wish to supplant the rewarding of excellence with the equal sharing of misery in the form of unqualified turds being placed in important positions and subjecting their subordinates, colleagues, and customers to their incompetence. But why? Why would someone want to place these ill-equipped people in jobs that, if done poorly, could hurt their company? Power. History is rife with examples of those in power making poor decisions for their country to benefit themselves. In many cases, this is the path to power. The followers of such demagogues are either true believers or seekers of power themselves, only in the form of fulfilling a weird desire for envious revenge against those who have more than they do. Many lack true meaning in life and seek to fill an emptiness with manufactured sanctimony. A certain percentage of the followers are simply afraid not to follow. Try telling your HR rep you're not sure about a policy's value. On second thought, don't. Every power struggle needs followers. Followers need a cause. Every cause needs to have outrage. What is the best catalyst for outrage? Victims. Everyone that's not a victim falls into one of three categories. Those shamed into support by way of misplaced guilt, those hopeful for a piece of the very small piece of the power pie, and those too fearful to resist. Which takes us back to Gina. The weirdos working for Lucasfilm, either directly or on a contractual basis, who attacked her fall into either the power group, hoping for some tiny morsel of the shit power pie from the company's overlords, or those who allow themselves to be shamed into supporting the cancel culture as true believers. In the interview, Gina alluded to someone in the fearful group who couldn't speak out for fear of being canceled themselves. Aside from indoctrination at academic institutions, the media does much to perpetuate cancel culture by employing its decades-old gimmick of misleading headlines and flat-out bias. CNN.com. Lucasfilm fires the Mandalorian star Gina Carano after offensive social media posts. Variety.com. Mandalorian star Gina Carano under fire for controversial social media posts. Yahoo News. Gina Carano fired from The Mandalorian after racist, offensive social media posts. These tricks are not new and have been well covered in books like Bias by Bernard Goldberg, Arrogance by the same author, and A Left Turn by Timothy Grosclose. Gina has been remarkably strong throughout the entire process, stating her true intentions but never once apologizing or bending the knee. In the end, she would have been fine without the Daily Wire job. But what about the everyday Joe? As we covered earlier, HR departments across the country in every industry routinely enforce cancel culture through policy and reaction to public perception, which, once again, is influenced by media. Look at these two examples of common men fired due to the outrage mob and HR getting its way. The Hill. California man fired over alleged white power sign says he was cracking his knuckles. Fox 2 Detroit. Detroit firefighter fired for bringing watermelon to station. There are dozens of stories like this every month. What can these people do? Pick up and move across the country? Recovering will not be so easy for them. The real story of Gina's firing isn't one of victimhood. Again, she would have survived with or without the Daily Wire. The real story isn't exactly her courage under fire, as awesome as it was, because not everyone can display such courage with mouths to feed, and thus its ability to inspire individual action is limited. The real story is that her experience with Disney put the disease that is cancel culture in the national spotlight. Is it going to make a difference, with Reason making a comeback with many people banding together against tyranny? Or will everyone forget within a few weeks? Hope for the best. Don't be surprised at the worst.